date, had a chance to get in here, but more so got a chance to hang out with my family and my children. And they thought it was going to be this fantastic week where we did everything. My middle son, Moses, ended up getting to come to work with me on Thursday, so that was the highlight of the week. I told him it's the least he could do since I had to be at football, soccer, basketball this week. But in the midst of that, trying to also figure out how we get better, continually get better moving forward. And I think there's a few things that of course, we will be able to progress where we are. And then just looking at the room and then looking at the building in totality, some of the things that Coach asked us to do and asked me to do. It was a good time to get away, but also watch some football and what other people are doing. And just seeing the landscape of what's going on in the NFL. A lot of times when you're in the season, it's kind of hard to see, who's playing well, who's doing something a little bit different, especially off the basis of just looking at records.
What ideas did Moses have for you?
Come home earlier. He's like, I get home the other night though. I forgot he was in my bed, looking at the Monday Night Football. So he was fired up that I was able actually to see the last quarter or so. But I coached him up this week, so it was just me and him, and I got to coach him at receiver play, at running back plays. So he's probably not too happy to see me when I ask him to come to work, because it really is work.
Just curious about Dominic Lovett. It's a guy that's obviously, for understandable reasons, buried on the depth chart. But I'm just curious, what does his practice week look like? Is he more involved with scout team? And, how is he progressing since we've seen him at camp?
Yeah, special teams, big portion of his practice is directly connected to everything that FIP has him doing. But for us, he's really doing a good job on the show team. He's been, named show team player before, so he's doing a really good job. He provides great looks. I really do feel like at slot play and at outside play, he's grown at both. The time off in camp kind of slowed his progression there, but now we're seeing all of that being caught up at a pretty fast level. And yes, he is in a situation where he is learning from Saint. So now when you're not playing as much, when you're not on the field as much, what you get a chance to do is you get to watch more. So he's watching the things that Saint does, even taking notes from TK and understanding the things that goes into being a professional. He's coming along. We think we got a really good football player with him, and really kind of like what he's shown in special teams to this point. Both him and Tesla in the gunner game, we've been looking for guys that can get down there, create havoc, get guys a fair catch, and even if they don't make the first play, put people on a lateral movement so we can rally to it. Really like where he is right now, doing great in the room. And what we do is we just throw him in randomly with our top guys to put the pressure on him to understand that at any moment he could be the guy in there. Really like where he's at right now.
I've talked to guys about this before, but just when you're on the scout team and you're trying to give a look, say he's trying to be Zay Flowers for a week, he's studying Zay Flowers, like how valuable can that be for a guy just to see kind of how the other team's best guys do things?
Well, there's two sides to it, right? The value comes with, our defensive secondary. They love these guys, the way they come out and practice and prepare. The other part of the value goes to the player. Not only are you learning to compete at a higher level, like you're going into every practice as a game, but you're also getting to watch the skill set of someone else that's playing in a position that you want to play in. So when you're watching that skill set, you're sponging all the information that you can get from that player, but you're also understanding that, man, I'm pretty good too. That's one of the things that come out of watching some of the tape of the other guys. They'll come back to me and say, hey, this guy's out of his transition in 4 steps, coach. I'm out of my transition in 3 steps. He's not building on the move, he's building lateral, all of these details, so it just keeps them wrapped around their game and then just like trying to progress where they are fundamentally.
It's outside of your room, but Graham being able to take on the center job was pretty big for you guys. I'm just curious, obviously in your past roles, the running backs coach, how have you seen his growth over these last couple of seasons? Because it feels like he's playing some of his best football right now.
Yeah, communication. Anytime you're putting into that role, the first thing that's noticed, like when I was thinking about, Frank, when it did happen and he chose to retire, which we love Frank, the one thing that I always remembered about him was I would try to get him and put him in really bad situations in our blitz pickup drills where I would script the worst looks that you could possibly script. Like the one off from 2020 and it's 25 or 24, and he would turn around and look at me And to give me the look like, I know this one, I've seen this one before, I got you. And then he would communicate it down the line at a way this quick, without saying a whole lot. So the first thing that I would say, when you move from the guard position into the center position, man, now you're the master communicator, not just for the O-line, but for the quarterback, which now is echoing different things out to the receiver. So where I've seen him grow has been what I've been able to watch. And then physicality, he's always been, he's been there. He's playing a lot quicker. We like what has happened with him right now, and just being able to see that was a big concern. You see Frank walk out, but we did know that we had a guy with capabilities who played it. But now just seeing the communication from one end to the other has been pretty good.
With Jameson, is there a middle ground, and do you guys need to find it? He's had these 0 or 1 catch games, or he's had 2 touchdowns or 6 catches. Does it?
No middle ground, only a ceiling, man. Like we got to get to the ceiling. Like it's one of those situations to where it's one of the things that I studied. Where he is in the progression, what happens when he is first, second, third in progression, and it's kind of been all over the place, right? We've were. The progression started and he's open behind the first progression, or he's second progression and we don't quite connect, or we do everything right, O-line, everything is right, and we don't make the play down the field. So the combination of all those things, and collectively, we just got to get him more ops. He's got to get more opportunities. We're working on doing that, and how you get those opportunities, right? And it's directly connected also to our third down production. Third down production, what it means for receivers are more opportunities. What it means for backs are more opportunities, extending those drives. But our third down opportunities, giving them opportunities to be catch and run. A lot of those have been past the sticks. And as you go back and look at, around the league, and you just go around and look back in the history of what we've done and some of the other places that we've kind of studied, a lot of guys now it's a lot more catch and run. We're doing a good job in catch and run. In the games that we're playing well, you'll see, I think we had one game almost at 170 yards of catch, run after catch. And then the games where, we haven't done, we maybe won the game, but we just haven't hit the standard and expectation that we have for ourselves. Our run after catch hadn't been that great, so we got to sharpen him up on a couple of things in his toolbox. But there's also other opportunities I don't want to talk about, but we can put him in better positions.
Is he hanging in, mentally? He posted a little GIF that, I don't want to read into without talking to him.
Yeah, like if he wasn't a little bit, ornery right now, it would just signal complacency to me. I don't think he hasn't shown anything in the building or anything on the sideline, which if we were in a different year, this probably would have happened 4 or 5 weeks ago. But I do think to speak to his maturity, but he also understands that he is working and doing things the right way. A lot of times the way that you prepare gives you the confidence, and the way that you do not prepare sometimes creates anger when you don't have the opportunities or situations don't go the right way. I thought he was going to go crazy on the penalty in the game, where it was a great back shoulder catch It was a great back shoulder catch. And I got 3 kids. I can't, just can't donate money at this point in time. Maybe later in life, but not now. So I thought that was going to really frustrate him. It's frustrating, but it didn't frustrate him to the point of where he was not ready to go back and have questions about what was going on and what we saw. So, but we gotta get to a point of where we're not talking about potential, and we're talking about more production, and we'll get there.
Is that maturity on his part to not go crazy?
It's maturity on my part. Okay, he's probably a lot more mature than me in some of those situations, especially when you've been coached to do something a certain way, and then you have the opportunity to do it the exact detailed way, and it doesn't go the way that you would like it to go. It doesn't really reflect on you as much as it does on, the coach. When you've seen it, you've done it the right way, and you've seen it, and you hope that it goes the right way, and it did not turn out the right way. So, great level of maturity from him right now.
Scottie, is that a message that you delivered to him personally? Like, hey, the ball's coming your way, and we appreciate your selflessness before that, or is that something that he understands intuitively, kind of on his own?
Well, you know what? This is a process that doesn't start during game week. It starts the moment that you walk into a room as a coach. There's certain standards you got to have for guys, and you also got to create a level of understanding that it's selfless, but you got to have a little bit of selfish nature to you, because receiver is one of the only jobs where everybody else has to do their job almost correct, just almost perfectly for you to get the opportunity. And because you're the punctuation mark, or you're the period, or the question mark, or the exclamation mark right there to finish the sentence, you have to be, you got to have a different level of confidence confidence to be able to finish drives and finish plays and finish with the ball in the end zone. So, it's something that we've started a long time ago, but we also create a level of competition, and they know they want to go out and be the best in the league. And unfortunately, we live in a league that even though you might play a 90% game, you need to have statistics to back it up as well.
Coach, you mentioned third down a little bit. What has the messaging been from Coach Campbell coming out of the bye in terms of third down?
Okay, yeah. So in every category, all right, it's been fundamental detail. And that's the way he sees it. And I don't think there's been like 3rd and 2, 3rd and 4 to 6, 3rd and 7 to 10. Third downs are like we all kind of, taking a good look at it. We have different sections that we're doing, but he looks at everything. And when you break it down, he's looked at us schematically, he's looked at us fundamentally, and then he's looking at our personnel and how we're using our personnel. So the biggest deal about our third down, and I think his point of all of us is that, listen, if we're going to get better at third downs, it's not going to be a scheme. It's not going to be a player. It's not going to be, how we're using the play. It's going to be a collective whole. So that's what he's watching. He's watching how we practice it. He's watching how we card it, making sure our guys defensively are doing exactly what the third down card says. So we just got a big emphasis on that, and we'll continue to work it. But it's collective whole.
So is it more of like a mindset to get better at third down?
No. It's collective scheme. We need to be better scheme in some things. There's collective player. We got to make more plays. Like we can be a little bit better in the way that we go after the football. It's collective in how we're finishing. Our catching knife hadn't been as great. So it's not a mentality. It's more of a complete detail in each one of those situations. We've done a pretty good job. Like in the red zone, for instance, we've been pretty good, and the details have been there. When you look at it, we've ran the ball efficiently, but also when you look at that category versus third down, we've been able to get the most out of everything that we're doing. Our backs are straining, right? It looks like a 3-yard gain, and Jameer spins out of it, scores. Now the red zone percentage is where it's at. So we got to have a little bit more of that. It's not mentality. It's just a little bit more from everybody, a little bit more scheme, a little bit more player, and then just a little bit more preparation as far as what we're showing them in those situations, and we can get that cleaned up.